Shouting and shoving match breaks out inside a synagogue over tomorrow's signing of the Mideast Peace Accord. The suspect is behind bars for allegedly stabbing a strap hanger as the victim pleaded for help from a token clerk. And the Giants take a giant step forward at their home opener.
From the newsroom, this is Channel 9 News Weekend with Reg Wells, Sarah Lee Kessler, George Lindsay Young's weather, and Bill Vargas on sports.
Good evening, everyone. Two old warriors, enemies for decades, are getting ready tonight to sign a historic Mideast peace agreement tomorrow at the White House. A beaming Yasser Arafat arrived this afternoon at Andrews Air Force Base outside Washington. He sported his trademark military uniform and draped headdress. And he told Arab Americans who greeted him he's hopeful the accord will lead to peace. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, the general who captured the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, is on his way to Washington, saying he knows the difficulties and dangers of the accord. Their foreign ministers will sign the agreement at the White House. Rabin says if he has to, he'll shake Arafat's hand. Meanwhile, Palestinian militants sent a message of violence. They ambushed an Israeli army jeep and attacked 2 civilian buses. 4 Israelis and 3 Palestinians were killed. And Jewish hardliners shouted their opposition when the Israeli ambassador tried to speak at a Queens synagogue. Robert Miller has more.
Some of the dissidents identified with the late Rabbi Meir Kahane, whom they say was murdered by Arab militants. The protesters say they don't trust Yasser Arafat.
That's like letting him, that's like letting a burner off the hook.
Ambassador Rabinovich did not leave the synagogue during the disturbance.
This is the Jewish blood. No high priest with it, Jewish fight. No high priest with Jewish fight this guy. Be careful.
When things quieted down, the ambassador gave his talk.
And tomorrow is not going to be just a signing ceremony, but a day in which the Prime Minister will spend...
But when he went outside, more of the harassment.
How many acts of terror has he committed? How many terrorists has he sent to kill Jews? And you're going to sit and wine and dine with Yasser Arafat.
Some critics were quieter, but just as adamant.
The ambassador from Israel just assured us that Jerusalem is not negotiable. Today's Times disagrees. As you can see, the Palestinian flag, the PLO flag, is being hoisted above the Damascus gate in the old city.
Then in South Patterson, I tried to gauge the Palestinian reaction to the moves toward peace.
However way it comes, we'll take peace.
It's a step for peace, but it's a step for only two cities, in Jericho and Gaza Strip. So a lot of people now, they live in West Bank. What about just people live in West Bank?
Israel says that maybe it can work out the same kind of agreement with Syria and Lebanon and Jordan. Do you think that's possible soon?
Yes.
Will we see it, you and I?
Oh, yes, very soon. I feel it's going to be very soon.
Robert Miller, Channel 9 News.
And in other news tonight, police in Brooklyn are holding a suspect in a fatal stabbing at a subway station. He's identified as 32-year-old Richard Bobbitt of Brooklyn. Police say he stabbed the unidentified victim, then took his wallet right in front of a token booth clerk at the Franklin Avenue station of the A line. He was arrested soon after. Cops say he had a knife and the victim's wallet. Police in Queens are holding a suspect in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 7-month-old baby boy. The suspect surrendered to police with his lawyer this morning. Police say he was driving a pickup truck and rammed a car. The suspect then allegedly drove away. The victim was in a baby seat when the car was hit.
Really?
A suspicious fire today caused heavy damage at a Catholic school building in Brooklyn. The fire was in an auditorium of the Blessed Sacrament Church Elementary School, which was closed when the fire broke out. There were fears of asbestos contamination, but officials found no traces of the substance. They say the school should be open for classes at that Catholic school tomorrow. This coming Tuesday is the first big hurdle in several political races, including the race for mayor and city controller. Voters go to the polls in the Democratic primary. The conventional wisdom is that Mayor Dinkins is already looking past the primary toward the real contest against Rudolph Giuliani in November. Even so, passions were running high as the 3 Democrats met in debate.
And can we discuss Roy Innes's support of Republicans I mean,
now, let us discuss,
that's what this is about.
Let us discuss your retaining of Norm Sison, your retaining of Sid Davidoff, your retaining of Sonny Carson and Al Sharpton and Run Him. Let's discuss that.
The record is clear that Roy did, in fact, give Idi Amin a lifetime membership in CORE.
That was an ad hominem, abusive, McCarthyite attack, and not befitting of the mayor. It is a lie.
The Democratic contenders for city controller also debated, with incumbent Liz Holzman taking another beating over allegations that last year her Senate campaign improperly accepted a loan from a company her office recommended for city business.
Both of their campaigns have been an effort to malign, to denigrate, to confuse, to distort.
And Holzman again refused to approve release of a city report on the allegations.
If Ms. Holzman will at this moment sign the two-sentence letter that will release the report to the public, I will pledge in writing, in blood, promise and commit that I will say nothing about the report. I will not talk about it. I won't characterize it. I won't interpret it. And certainly, therefore, with that silence, will not be able to distort anything.
I think it would be wrong for the voters, wrong for other people, and unfair for me to have a partial and unfinished report made public 2 days before a primary election.
And there's a lot more to tell you about tonight. We'll show you what Senator Frank Lautenberg said about the president's health plan on our special presentation, America Again. Somehow a horse fell down this well. The heartbreaking story coming up. And we'll take you to a very special celebration for grandparents. But first, a man who is a personal friend of Grandfather Time, George Lindsay Young.
Well, I don't know about that, Reg, but I'll tell you what, it was a wonderful day today, that I know, and downright chilly this morning. Temperatures in the suburbs in the 40s, even a few 30s, too. What about tomorrow morning? Here it is, 7 a.m. wake-up weather forecast. Mostly sunny, temperatures at 7 a.m. in the middle 60s range. Coming up in just a bit, warmer weather for the week ahead. And now, what's going on in sports? Here's Bill.
All right, George, I'll tell you.
Again. During the live town meeting, the Democrat answered questions from the audience, including one on what he would like to see in a health care reform plan.
What we have to do is, A, promise that everybody will at least have a minimum decent health care program. And B, is that we can assure those, as we design a health care plan, that they're going to have the security of knowing that they can pick their doctor, go to someone that they're comfortable with, someone who knows their history. And lastly is to make sure that we control the costs.
And regarding foreign affairs, Lautenberg described the Mideast agreement between Israel and PLO as a chance that has to be taken for peace. The presses will continue to roll at the New York Post, at least for now. Talks between the Post and the Newspaper Guild resumed this afternoon. No word on whether any progress has been made. The Guild had threatened to strike Thursday, but put it on hold. The paper has reached agreement with all its other unions. Meanwhile, contract talks between musicians and theater owners were also held today. They recessed until tomorrow, so it looks as though the shows will go on. And there's a big media merger to tell you about. Viacom, the folks who bring you MTV and other cable networks, is buying Paramount Communications, the film and publishing giant. The $8 million merger would create one of the largest media entertainment companies in the world. The so-called Hail Mary murder trial is set to start tomorrow in Paterson, New Jersey. 19-year-old James Wanger faces a life sentence. He is accused of strangling 17-year-old Robert Salamine Jr. earlier last year in Clifton, just after they had said the Roman Catholic prayer, Hail Mary. 3 other teenagers have pleaded guilty, and a 4th is now awaiting trial in that murder. Police in Suffolk County received an unusual call today, a plea for help for a horse that had fallen into an uncovered well. Sadly, the horse died by the time police arrived on the scene. But that wasn't the end of the story. Officers found another horse and dozens of dogs, all living in unhealthy and unsanitary conditions. Their owner, a woman, was charged with animal cruelty earlier in the day.
We were called out by Suffolk County Police Department this morning at roughly 8 o'clock to a horse that had fallen into a well. Upon all the units arriving here realized that it was much more. We found animals, approximately 30 Doberman pinschers and about 7 or 8 mixed breeds that were living in unhealthy, unsanitary, overcrowded conditions.
Another sad story involving horses in Union Township. A horse van flipped over on Route 22. One horse was thrown. It was so badly injured that vets had to put it down. A pony suffered only minor injuries. Still to come tonight, the Jets and Giants both come up winners. with the boys in blue putting in a dazzling performance at their home opener. Stay with us.
Win, in fact, a giant victory in week 2 of the NFL season. At the Meadowlands today, the Giants get on the board first against Tampa Bay as Phil Simms caps an 82-yard drive with a pass to a wide-open Howard Cross, 7-0. Tampa Bay will strike back, though, as Craig Erickson freezes the Giant D with the play action. Hits the tight end, Ty.G. Armstrong, cuts it to 14-7 in the second. But the Giants D would shut them out the second half, while David Treadwell nails 3 field goals, and the Giants win 23-7. They are 2-0. Now, the key to the game, in my opinion, the Giants defense holds the Bucs to just 45 yards rushing, less than 2.5 yards a carry.
As a unit, man, and nobody is bigger than any one person except for LT. You know, he's a legend, but he sets the tempo. He's our leader out there.
Hamilton had 3 sacks in the game. The Giant offense, meanwhile, was balanced. 181 yards rushing, 200 passing.
I don't know. I'm just happy the way we played for the 2 weeks. You know, offensively, I think we've done a lot of things good, and I don't know how it looks, but we feel like we're doing a lot of things. I mean, the formations, we did a few little reverses, the passes, everything is going pretty well, and Dan, I think, has had a good feel for the game 2 weeks for us as far as calling the plays at the right time.
The Jets, though, take the lead on a field goal, followed by this fourth-quarter dazzler. Esiason to Pat Chafee, shakes through the defense, 20 yards. Jets up 24-14. That is the final, and the Jets even their record at 1-1. So both New York football teams win. If only the news were as good for baseball. The Yankees in Kansas City, and pitcher Mark Hutton in early trouble as Wally Joyner slices one the other way. And this one is bouncing, yes, off the wall, while George Brett goes around to score on the double, and KC leads 1-0 in the first. Kevin McReynolds goes up, and away in the 7th. It is 10-0 Royals, and they win it 10-2. Yanks fall 2 games back as Toronto won today. If you thought the Mets, I should say the Mets, I just want to mention, get a big game from Eddie Murray, Sid Fernandez with a shutout, and they win 5-0. If you thought the men's final at the U.S. Open was going to be all Pete Sampras, well, you were half right. Sampras faced Cedric Pioline in what proved to be a well-contested battle as Sampras smashes, but Pioline returns it before Sampras puts it away. Despite Pioline's efforts, though, Sampras will take the first 2 sets, and then when Pioline double faults here, gives Sampras a straight sets victory, 6-4, 6-4, 6-3. Sampras, who won Wimbledon earlier this year, now also the U.S. Open champ. And finally in sports, it is time to beat the pro, and all it takes is a little $2 donation to the Leukemia Society, and you get a chance to beat the shot of a sports celebrity.
Beat the Pro is brought to you by Toyota. And
only 2 golfers. As our winner, Dan receives a $100 gift certificate, and he also now qualifies for our Beat the Pro tournament to be held Tuesday at Crystal Springs. Be sure to tune in next Saturday night at 7 o'clock. That's when we'll have our Beat the Pro tournament special. And until then, keep hacking. I don't know how Russ managed to stage that birdie. I don't know how he did that.
Well, we don't know how many days he was there doing
Exactly.
Numerous tries.
George in the weather lab.
That's me. I'll tell you what a day. Incredible, beautiful weather today. Temperatures in the low 70s. But when you woke up this morning, it was chilly in the 40s in many suburbs. Let's find out what's happening right now. Go outside, take a look at the Intrepid for today. Or actually, near the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum, a tugboat parade was underway. And what a day for a parade. Now, right now, we're looking at partly cloudy conditions. Temperature at 66 degrees. Relative humidity 54%. Winds right now out of the southwest about 8 miles per hour. And barometer 3029. And indeed, it is steady. And so are the conditions across much of the nation. As a matter of fact, call it September. And I do mean burr. This morning, 37 degrees up in Hinestown. 39 degrees this morning, Hackettstown, 53 in Newark. In New York City, 53 degrees, and that's why I'm calling it September, the coldest temperatures since spring of this year. Sure felt like fall out there today. High pressure firmly anchored off the Atlantic coastline as it drifts out towards the east. More of a southerly to southwesterly flow setting up in the upper atmosphere. Warm front now pushing out of the Great Lakes area. little bit of altocumulus and serious blow-off from this warm front as it moves towards the east. But the big weather maker later this week, this cold front. And I do mean a cold front. Temperatures are falling in Minnesota. It'll make its way in here by about Thursday for some showers and thunder showers, but in the meantime, warming up as the southwesterly flow sets up in the upper atmosphere. 80-mile-an-hour winds today in Oklahoma. Tornado touchdown, Clewiston, Florida. And in the west, it is really winter time. Winter storm warnings in effect, up to 4 inches of snow in the higher elevations of Montana. At Yellowstone National Park this morning, they woke up to snow, and in southern Idaho, they're worried about frost this morning. Actually, a little bit milder for us in the nighttime and morning hours. Here's your forecast now from the Channel 9 Weather Lab tonight. Partly cloudy, not quite as chilly. Temperatures for tonight, well, would you take 60 near the city and 50s in the suburbs? Yes, I thought you would. Now, tomorrow looking like this, another fine-looking day, a little bit warmer, highs for Monday in the low to middle 80s range, and tomorrow night, mostly clear, comfortably cool, no problemo, low to mid-60s. All right, 5-day forecast for you, if we can bring it up there. Monday through Friday is looking like this. Sunny tomorrow to mostly sunny, low 80s, a little bit warmer Tuesday, but by Thursday, some showers, maybe thunderstorms working in here. And Friday's looking fine with highs in the upper 70s and morning lows in the 50s. I don't know about you, Reg, but I would call today the edge of perfection. The edge.
No problemo.
No problemo, man.
Espanol perfecto. Still to come, it was a special day for these folks. Did you remember your grandparents? We'll take you to the place where the whole idea got started, if you stay with us.
Parents, field of dreams. Vacant lots turned into 40 ball fields across the city. Public libraries will soon be open 6 days a week for the first time in almost half a century. He's told us the hard truth when our city couldn't afford all we wanted, and in dangerous moments walked the streets and worked his heart out to hold us together. Mayor David Dinkins. It takes more than tough talk to run a tough city.
WWOR TV, the first New York area station to provide closed captioning of the local news. The closed captioning of tonight's news has been underwritten by PSE&G. The power is in your hands.
As we leave you tonight, it was Grandparents' Day today. It was celebrated with a party at the Hebrew Home for the Aged in Riverdale. An appropriate setting since the day started there 32 years ago. For old and young, it was a tribute to their love and bond. And that's our report for tonight. I'm Reg Wells. Thanks for joining us. See you back here next weekend. Good night.